Do you know who actually respected Izuku Midoriya in My Hero Academia? And no, the list isn't what you'd expect. Well, that's exactly what we're breaking down today. We'll be going through every major character who respected Deku, giving each one a percentage score, starting with the ones who barely gave him the time of day and working our way up to the people who believed in him before he gave them a single reason to. And trust me, some of these scores are going to surprise you. So, let's get right into it. Respect in My Hero Academia isn't what you think. Before we get into the list, we need to clear something up. Respect isn't the same as liking someone. In My Hero Academia, real respect means acknowledging someone's strength, their ideals, their refusal to break, even when you really don't want to admit it. And that's what makes Deku's story so interesting. Some characters genuinely cannot stand him, but still respect him. Others love him, but don't fully get him. The respect he earns isn't handed to him. It gets dragged out of people, arc by arc, sometimes completely against their will. And here's where it gets unexpected. Some of the people who respect Deku the most are actually his enemies. Muscular, respect score, 55%. At first, Muscular treats Deku like a minor glitch in his day, just some kid who wandered into the wrong fight. Then Deku craters the ground with a punch and everything shifts. Muscular doesn't care about Deku's heart or his backstory. He just loves that there's finally someone worth hitting. It's the most honest respect in the series because it's so shallow. No history, no feelings, just, oh, okay, you can actually throw hands. For a guy who only values power, that's as high as the bar goes. It's pure combat recognition and nothing more. Shigaraki, respect score, 70%. Shigaraki is a whole different brand of weird. It starts as pure annoyance. Why won't this kid just go away? And slowly turns into this dark obsession. By the end, Deku is literally the only person who sees the human buried under all that decay. He gets Shigaraki in a way nobody else does. And Shigaraki, as twisted as he is, feels that. It's not admiration. They're still trying to wreck each other. But when your worst enemy is the only one who truly sees you, that's a heavy kind of respect. Dark, complicated, and way more personal than most people realize. Lady Nagan. Respect score, 78%. Lady Nagan is a whole different vibe because it's not even about the fight. Here's this disillusioned former hero turned villain sent to hunt Deku down, and she's got him dead to rights. But instead of folding, Deku just saves her. That completely breaks her. She spent years watching heroes perform for the cameras, yet here's this kid reaching out to the person literally trying to kill him. She didn't flip because he beat her. She flipped because he reminded her that real heroes actually exist. That's not just respecting his power, that's respecting his soul. You don't get a shift like that unless you're the real deal. Kirishima, respect score, 79%. Kirishima watches Deku and has his whole definition of manliness rewritten. He's always been about guts and toughness, but Deku shows him a different side of bravery, the kind where you're visibly shaking and terrified, but you move anyway. That hits Kirishima hard because it's exactly what he's been chasing his whole life. For a guy who built his entire identity around being brave, watching Deku redefine what that even looks like leaves a mark. His respect is pure, grounded, and honestly, a little humbling. Ida, respect score, 80%. Ida is already the most disciplined guy in the room. He's got his life together, he follows the rules, and he takes everything seriously. But even he has to admit that Deku's moral compass is on a whole different level. The turning point was the Stain arc. Ida is at his lowest, and here comes Deku, arms barely working, no real plan, just charging in because it's the right thing to do. Ida respects anyone who puts their values above their own skin, and Deku does that every single day. Ochaco, respect score, 82%. Ochaco started with a super practical goal: get the license, make some money, help her parents. Totally fair. But watching Deku throw himself into the fire for strangers without a second thought completely rewired her brain. He didn't lecture her, he just was Deku. And that changed her entire perspective on what a hero should actually be. That's not just admiration or a crush, he literally changed the course of her life. That's what puts her this high. Aizawa, respect score, 84%. Aizawa starts off by basically threatening to kick Deku out on day one. He's practical, skeptical, and has zero time for sentiment. But as the series goes on, something changes. He stops lecturing and starts trusting Deku when the stakes are actually life or death. For a guy who hands out trust about as often as he smiles, that says everything. There are no big speeches or emotional breakdowns, just quiet, consistent reliance. When Aizawa decides he can count on you, you've made it. And coming from him, that silence speaks louder than most people's praise. Stain. Respect score, 85%. Stain is the guy who literally made a career out of deciding which heroes deserve to live or die. Most pros? He thinks they're total frauds. But then he meets Deku, a kid who's barely had his quirk for a few months, and puts him on the same level as All Might. Think about that. Stain's entire identity is built on hating everyone. Yet he looks at Deku and goes, "Okay, this one is the real deal." When the most judgmental guy in the series decides you're worth saving, that's a level of respect you just can't fake. Coming from anyone else, this might not mean much, but from the hero killer, it's massive. And honestly, 85% might even be underselling it. Your enemies respecting you hits completely different from your friends respecting you. Drop a comment right now. Which villain moment surprised you the most? I read every single one. Class 1A, respect score, 88%. The real proof of how much this class respects Deku isn't in their words. It's in the Dark Deku arc. When Deku goes rogue and cuts everyone off to carry the weight of the world alone, Class 1A doesn't just let him go. They don't say, "He's the chosen one, let him handle it." They literally hunt him down to bring him home. Not to lecture him, not to fix him, just to stand beside him, chasing someone into the dirt when they're at their absolute worst, purely because you refuse to let them suffer alone. That's the ultimate sign of respect. It's way deeper than just thinking someone is cool. The only reason this isn't higher is that it took them a few seasons to get there. But once they did, they went all in. Todoroki, respect score, 89%. Todoroki walks into the sports festival treating Deku like a benchmark, just a yardstick to test his own power against. But then Deku does something insane. Mid-fight, he stops caring about winning and just starts screaming at Todoroki to stop letting his father live in his head. He literally throws the match just to shake Todoroki awake. Todoroki doesn't respect Deku because he lost to him. He respects him because Deku freed him. That's a completely different category of respect. It's quiet, it's deep, and it's the kind that never fades. Deku changed Todoroki's entire life. What if Deku's real power was never one for all? What if it's just the ability to change people? Mirio. Respect score, 91%. On paper, Mirio was the perfect choice for One for All. The skill, the mindset, the experience. But he doesn't have a single ounce of bitterness about how things went. He looks at Deku and validates him completely, not to be polite, but because he genuinely believes in him. Respect with zero ego attached is incredibly rare. Mirio had every reason to feel cheated by the situation, and he just didn't. That's not just a testament to Mirio's character, it's a testament to how undeniable Deku actually became. And Mirio gets slept on in these conversations every single time. Drop a comment. Who's the most underrated person in Deku's corner? Bakugo. Respect score, 95%. You can't talk about respect without Bakugo. He started as a brutal bully, but the truth is, he was terrified, not of Deku's power, of his spirit, the way he'd keep getting up when anyone else would have broken. Bakugo's whole identity was built on being the best, and this quirkless kid made that feel like glass. Watching him change was painful. He had to completely dismantle his own ego just to offer that final apology. Respect that costs you your entire worldview is worth more than anything else on this list. Bakugo's respect might mean more than anyone else's in the series, because it was the most expensive. All Might. Respect score, 100%. All Might choosing Deku wasn't just him being nice. It was one of the most important judgment calls in the entire series. He'd been searching for a successor for years, and he finally found everything he needed in a quirkless kid who tried to take on a slime monster with zero plan and no chance of winning. He didn't respect Deku for his power, he respected him for his gut instinct. Believing in someone before they have a single win or even a quirk to their name is the purest form of respect you can get. It's not just acknowledgement, it's total faith. And it turned out to be the best call he ever made. From a quirkless kid everyone counted out to someone even his enemies couldn't keep dismissing. Do you agree with these scores? Anyone ranked too low or too high? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe so you're there when the next bounty drops.